Politics in the United States is so polarised at the moment that meaningful dialogue between the two sides is rare. The partisan nature of the system leaves little incentive for either party to cooperate with the other on legislation. We've seen plenty of that. The result then is gridlock, and very often something much more unpleasant.
Yes, the key driver behind this is the suspicion and distrust that exists between the two sides, Democrat and Republican. A new study reveals how either side perceives the other, suggesting that Republicans and Democrats actually disagree on less than they think. Well, Daniel Yudkin is an author of the study, and he's Associate Director of Research at More in Common. He joins us now from New York. Daniel, thank you very much for being with us. It's fascinating stuff that both parties overestimate the number of people in the other party who hold extreme views by almost double. I mean, that's quite something, isn't it? Look, I mean,
yeah, it really
why is it so bad right now?
Why is it so bad? Well, one thing that's happening is that what we have are extreme voices on both sides that tend to capture the majority of the airwaves. People are more active on social media, on traditional media, and the most extreme stories get amplified in a way that leads both sides to imagine that the voices they're hearing from the other side really represent the views of the entire party, both Democrats and Republicans, but the reality is that's just not the case.
And Daniel, what is fascinating is that perception gap was worse for Democrats the more educated they were, but that wasn't the case for Republicans.
So that's right. So just to give you some background, what my organization More in Common did was to conduct a large-scale survey of American adults. And what we did was ask them two sets of questions. First, we asked them what they themselves thought about a variety of topics affecting America, from immigration to gun control to climate change. And then we asked them what they thought the other side believed on those same topics. And so what we call the perception gap is the difference between perception and reality from both sides. Now, with regard to this question about education, we actually find that, for example, Democrats, as they get more and more educated, actually seem to have a worse and worse understanding of what Republicans actually believe. Among Democrats, for example, people who graduated high school, who just graduated high school, have a more accurate perception of what Republicans believe than people with a postgraduate degree. But the same is not true among Republicans, who seem to have a similar amount of misperception, regardless of their level of educational attainment.
You know, Daniel, one of the most disturbing things about your research to me is the fact that politics and character have now become inextricably linked. How dangerous is it when you have people's political views becoming a statement of their virtue or their moral failings?
Yeah, that's right. So what we see is this vicious cycle where as people come to have more and more greater misperceptions of the other side, they're also more and more likely to call them hateful, to call them brainwashed, to call them ignorant. And what that can do is lead to this, as I said, a cycle in which as people come to impugn the characters of the other side, they're less willing to have a conversation. They're more willing to misattribute what they say to evil intentions, and so the cycle goes. And so that is a really dangerous dynamic of polarization in America right now, and it's really stopping people, politicians and regular Americans, from moving forward on issues that affect everybody.
Daniel Yudkin, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And that's absolutely true. How do you move forward? How do you get beyond this, Christian? I can tell you that